Hello and good evening, everybody. It's good evening for us here in Singapore and in India and out there in US and other parts of the world. It's morning to all our friends who are watching this. It's use of technology for the betterment of humanity by the Circle of Legend and Go Global Business School is extremely delighted. We are so excited that we are able to collaborate and create this event for everyone. Today we have in the house some amazing global mentors and leaders, my dear friends and partners from across the globe that will be brainstorming with you to go into the dynamics of understanding the mission and vision of individual that can go out into the world in the space of technology. You know, whenever I introduce my friends to people or other people, they always ask me, Azeeza, how come you're hanging out with visionaries? So today I have visionaries in the house, and you're going to see them and hear them and also get enlightened with how they use technology to for betterment of humanity and how they have been very selfless in the way that they have been growing their mission across the world. So let's take in. Thank you, Darshanji, definitely my co-host for today. Welcome, Darshanji, and your space.
Yeah, sure. So, thanks a lot, Dr. Azeeza, and I'm privileged to have Mr. Owen, Connie, Dr. Sergey, and Dr. Omar on the show. The Circle of Legends is a platform which is for like-minded individuals like you, and it's an ecosystem which is having a baseline principle of being humble. So being humble is the first part which we start, and then comes is a compassion, being compassionate, or having empathy for others. So these are the attributes and value systems we do have, similar to having an NGO, UNICEF, or CARE, or any other foundation. But our structure of operation is little different. We are right now operating as an NPO, non-profit organization without any formally defined structure. I know Dr. Serge is expert in defining all this, so we will go and take his advice that how to do this down the line, 2 3 months, 1 quarter. But the key thing over here is we have managed to use this technology or leverage the technology in this 1 year to connect with over 1 lakh people, and we are increasing this in leaps and bounds. We have started it with the root level, we have started with the ground level. So you may not know that we are connected with several thousand by looking at just online statistics, because we have connected with teachers, we have connected with parents, those who are not every day having a time to come online and like and post and all that. They are just a common man, and we are conveying message to them that how to convert your common lifestyle into a lifestyle wherein you can make a hybrid balance, or where you are spending a lot of time on a need which is unproductive to make it productive time spent. So these are all basic objective of the Circle of Legends. And Dr. Aziza, I have to request you to handle this show
Okay.
solo without a co-host. I just would like to introduce and say namaste to everyone on this one
Yes.
panel. But I have, as tomorrow's event is planned, and India team will go to sleep. So before they go to sleep, I have to go and help them.
Yes, sure, Ji. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, and do come once again on our request as a one-to-one panelist. We value your views, and we value your insight, whichever is available, because we are open to ideas which can help us to contribute to the growth of the world, to
Yes.
growth of individual, and collectively definitely we can make this a movement, not an individual's idea. It will be a movement to help the humanity. So
Absolutely.
thanks a lot, and let's get connected.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone. So, thanks to Darshan ji for that introduction for the Circle of Legends and what the mission is. So now we are all
Mm.
geared up to listen in to my amazing panelists in the house. So I want to get everyone to introduce themselves because if I'm going to do an introduction, that will kind of finish off the hour, knowing them for this many months and years, right? So let's welcome Dr. Serge Gravelles, my business partner of Global Sparks and Go Global Technologies. Dr. Serge, please do your introduction.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Azeeza, and everyone. Hello everyone on this recording, because the majority of people will see it as a recording. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Um, I live in the U.S. I'm French Canadian, and I'm the founder of the educational and training platform, globalsparks.com, and I'm also the partner, a main partner in the Go Global Technologies in Singapore with Dr. Azeeza and our friend Mr. Yapadas. And so, basically, my role with the platform, the Go Global Business School, that we're going to be talking quite a bit today about, and other subjects, is to make sure that the platform is running all the time and that we have consistent, very valuable content for the people. Many years ago, I'm talking like 40 some years ago, 45 years ago, I helped create the original codes that became what is known today as an email. Also created over the years, or helped create codes to first to start things as systems and platform on the internet, but also later on to expand on the user experience of people online. So I've been around for quite a while when it talks about the online systems and what we have now. Some of you might remember the World Wide Web, and that's why we still see on web address nowadays www. I'm asked that question so often. What does it mean? Why is it there? Well, that was the precursor of it. That was a very, very long time ago. So my mission for the last 20 years, I would say, after I got out of that kind of very environmentally technical, pressured environment, has been to bring education to the world without having to really having to worry about the financial side. And so that is a reality for a lot of people. The majority of people on the planet are not. They don't see education as the same way as the people who have money do. For people who have the money, so well, okay, I'll get education. The people who don't have the money to pay for education, it's a whole different story for them. So I want to stop that, because by stopping that, that element, that barrier, removing that barrier, then we can help. I can help, and together we can help educate
Thank
much
you.
more people and stop maybe or slow down poverty, or resolve some issue about disparity and all that on the planet. So that's my mission now
Yes.
with the platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Serge. Thank you for that heart that you have with all this work that you do.
Mm.
And now let's invite Owen Yeo from Singapore. Owen, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Azeeza. I've spent the last 20 years of my life experiencing the whole industry of corporate training in Singapore, beginning with being a stand-up trainer in front of a group of people. And the progress has actually led me to now move up the stream. And currently what I do a lot of is actually working with government agencies and ministries to actually craft what we call training roadmaps. It actually works for the entire, either the entire sector or a particular industry. Sometimes with companies that are big enough, we do a company-wide roadmap for them. We identify the various competencies and skills. Having done that for that period of time, I realized that there was a component that is not fully explored. And that's where in the last 10 years, I've been exploring my own self-development through meditation and personal growth adventures. And I realized that there is this need for us to now move beyond just the idea of competencies in terms of knowledge, the cognitive area, as well as skill sets, the physical area. So having met Dr. Azeeza, I'm so happy to be working with her and Go Global in the Trainerpreneur program, where I hope to actually bring this message across to trainers, because the trainer is often the connecting point between organizations and staff and visions and applicability. I want to try and work with the trainers to actually look into this concept where you are exploring your own emotions, growing emotionally, so that when you're in the classroom, in the space, online with people, you're able to actually look into that area and address that when it comes up. So it's kind of like bringing the balance back into the whole picture.
That's right. Thank you so much, Owen. That's really, really a powerful journey that you have set out together, and now we are with you. Thank you so much. And now let's call upon Connie Benjamin from Utah.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I need to say, Dr. Azeeza, thank you so much for having me in this conversation amidst all of these masters. I just love the work that you're doing and so grateful to be part of this conversation. So I'm going to start with a confession. I am completely obsessed with stories. And I love stories because I believe that stories, they change how we see ourselves and they change what's possible in the world. And so I've been interviewing people, purpose-driven entrepreneurs for just under a decade. And I've noticed that these amazing purpose-driven entrepreneurs give it everything that they've got. And I know in this conversation, we are all purpose-driven entrepreneurs, and the people listening, you can relate to that. You are somebody that's got a mission in this life. And I saw them giving everything that they've got, blood, sweat, and tears, all in. And then Dr. Azeeza, I saw that in the global, as things hit with the global pandemic, the online space got so noisy. So we had these experts that have devoted their life to doing what they do, competing in the exact same space as somebody that learned a little bit about online marketing, threw up a website and claims to be an expert, and they're not. And quite honestly, that freaked me out. Because I truly believe we're at a point in history where we need the messages of the greats, who I call the greats. And really, Dr. Azeeza, what I'm talking about with that is people on a great mission. And so I developed a very simple process called the Influencer Interview, where I uncover the hidden story of those purpose-driven entrepreneurs so they can powerfully share their story and connect with their potential clients in a way that's never been done before. Then we produce it, and I'm so grateful to be hearing and supporting you and sharing your story. And I'm working with Go Global with the Trainerpreneur program because I'm so excited about taking this message about the importance of telling your hidden story, not the usual story, the hidden one, to the world. And really, my mission is all about helping purpose-driven entrepreneurs to share the hidden story.
That's right. Thank you so much. And that is so energizing to hear you share your story on how you help others create their stories. And now, Dr. Omar, I know you are from US and now settled in the Middle East. Tell us a lot about yourself and your mission.
Yes, thank you. First of all, we'd like to thank the organizers, Mr. Danchan, and also Dr. Serge and your good self, who is a moderator tonight, for making this event possible, because it's obvious that when we exchange ideas, that we can then grow. Not only because we're introduced to maybe new ways of thinking, or we can see a role model, or we can capture something that then triggers something inside, which shows a possibility. So a quick word about myself is, yes, I happen to be residing in Dubai at the moment and in the Middle East for about 20 years, born and raised actually in the Boston area of the United States. which
Mm.
some people feel, and I don't disagree, is the education capital of the world. So I'm very happy to be a son of Boston. Uh, in my career, spanning, well, maybe three or possibly 4 decades, I focused on financial services. And so I built leasing companies, investment bank, three insurance companies, and along the way, discovered, I guess maybe I'm an entrepreneur. And so now in the last 5, 6 years, started to give back as a mentor to certain accelerators, certain incubators, and also to my own startup. My own startup looks at the gamification of money as an education device. So it utilizes and leverages the technology in order to, let's call it, reinvent financial literacy. And this is very important today because, of course, money is a currency. It is literally a river that flows up and down in almost everything we do. And I feel that schools are maybe falling a little bit behind in what our young people, not to mention our parents at home, trying to guide the young people, that these young people will need as they go into their future. And I'll end with this thought, which is we are rapidly, all of us, moving into a cashless society. And that cashless society is made possible because of the prevalence of technology. And we'll get into more specifics in a minute.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Amazing panels. This is really wonderful that we can speak about what you do and how exciting it is. You know, friends, when you are hearing them share, I'm sure you're relating to it. Like missions are there for every one of us. You have your own mission too that you are committed to. Right now, as our panelists, as you share, I want to ask you because I know all of you have been very offline before and then getting online. And I'm sure you have faced some crazy challenges and problems and from offline to get online. So you want to share with me something that you got triggered with, what happened to you, some problem you faced, and how did you overcome it? Can we start off with Connie? Maybe you want to start sharing this time.
Sure. Aziz, Dr. Azeeza, I felt like you were going to call on me because I probably am the one that experienced this the most. So when I was faced with the inspiration to get online and to really, go into the world, I was met with some resistance. And some of the things that I struggled with is, one, when the global pandemic hit, I knew that I needed to redefine my business. I needed to do things in a new way, show up in a different way. And yet I felt myself kind of being stuck a little bit in the past. Like maybe if I just wait it out, I'll be able to go back to things as they were. And I don't know if somebody listening today can relate to that, but that's where I started. I stayed there for, I'll be honest, at least a week. And then I thought, Connie, you got to get out there. You got to do something. And actually, another issue that I faced in getting into the online space is I was worried that I wouldn't able to truly connect with people. And in the work that I do, I help people to tell their story. And so I thought, man, how am I gonna help people tell their story when we can't be in the same place? We can't have a filming crew. Yeah. We can't have all of those things. What could this look like? And so some of the things that helped me to overcome some of those things is first, I got a mentor. I looked at who is rocking it in this new world. And Dr. Azeeza, luckily, I found you as well as one of those incredible mentors, and Dr. Serge, absolutely. Dame Doria Cordova, these experts that were doing amazing things in the world, in the new world. And second, I got a community. I connected with people that could support me in doing this. And that's why I love Go Global so much, because I know it's a community that is striving to support us. And 3, I took action. I felt so scared. I felt uncomfortable. I felt awkward. Sometimes I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, but I took action anyways. So yes, I can relate to that fear of going to the new world and stepping into technology. And those are some of the things that supported me.
Yes, absolutely. So, Dr. Omar, do you want to share, because you were very excited about, that you kept us in a bit of a suspense. So share with us what's going on for you when you're getting online. And I know you have done some interesting stuff online right now.
Sure. Well, and it can happen to all of us. I mean, today we all met. I'm talking now to the audience. The panel met a few minutes before going live. And sure enough, they could hear me, but I couldn't hear them. And so this program, this platform, is actually the first time for me to be on this stream yard, as it's called.
Mm.
And, you have to, as Connie was saying, push yourself out there a little bit, face some of the fears, own up to the discomfort, but be persistent. Say, I'm going to solve it. So the panel couldn't hear me. I mean, they could hear me. Sorry, I couldn't hear them. Anyway, long story short, a dear friend called me and said, well, why don't you tinker a little bit with the settings? And sure enough, I found that I had my laptop, where I'm talking from. I had it on my big speakers and not on the laptop itself. So with a small adjustment, bang, then the panel hears me and I'm on board. I'll tell you the other personal challenge that I have, and this is ongoing, is passwords. I have books. I have books where I just write them all down. And,
Yeah.
and these books, they go on and on and on. So then I have to remember which book I put it in. But fortunately, over the years, I'm organized, I'm disciplined, and I think Microsoft or Apple has taught us how to set up folders and how to label them. And so gradually, I've sort of trained myself not to panic. Yeah, it's here. It's in one of these. Okay, well, maybe it's in this one. So again, persistence and also belief in yourself. That if you start with the right intention, a sincere intention, then you can do almost anything. And if you can't, even after persistent trying, then pull out the mentor card that Connie suggests, which is find somebody who's been there, done that, and then that way, with their assistance or her assistance, then you can push through and make it happen.
Thank you for that. I mean, this is so real, right? It is so real. And you reminding me how many times I used to do reset password. I'm sure you relate to that one also. So this is like what we go through every time we get in online. And so this is very real, isn't it? So let's hear from Owen. Owen, you are so offline, and I know you had to be pulled into online. So tell us a little bit about your issues what was going on in your mind when you first told yourself. And I found that out quite recently only, that you said you were resisting online. You were resisting. So let's hear about that.
Thank you, Dr. Azeeza. A lot of what Connie and Dr. Omar has mentioned were the same things that I was going through, but I like to just focus on one key thing, and that's the issue of noise. Because all this while, my exposure to online anything is about Facebook, it's about YouTube, and these are the ones that, you get all the advertisements coming in, you get stuff that is just interrupts. And as a trainer, you really want to control noise that comes into your environment. That's one thing. Secondly, as a meditator, you definitely want to work on an environment where you clear all this unnecessary stuff. And those were the two areas that was my biggest resistance, this idea of noise in the classroom and in my meditation practice. The difference is that when I'm, and this is very recent, I only met Dr. Azeeza in December last year. But in that short period of time, she was able to show me that um, if you key into the correct platform with the correct support, the noise takes care of itself. It's been amazing because in that short journey, I've been able to work with Dr. Serge. He has helped me a lot in trying to get the product onto the platform. And with a little bit of suggestion here and there, something which I never thought would be possible is that I was able to then create the audio files for a introduction to meditation for non-meditators and upload it, and it's now available there on the platform itself. So this unsubstantiated fear about the noise was really about finding the right place to actually express what needs to be expressed.
You know, you are one of a very strong success story for us. It's like, you know why? It's Singapore, my friends. Singapore, and you're one of the leading like pioneers in developing train the trainer programs for the government. You get what I mean? So your breakthrough is like
Yes.
the breakthrough for the traditional trainers
Mm.
industry. So that's an amazing one. Thank you so much for that. Dr. Serge, you have been pioneering. You were literally going to tell us what WWW stands for. This is where I say that's how antique you are for us, you know, really a very valuable antique. But tell us, Dr. Serge, what was the issues you faced? Because I know that Global Sparks at the initial part had a lot of resistance from other people coming in. So you did face some challenge from that side. So maybe you want to share with us what do you see people here when they're getting online and how do you manage to overcome that?
Yeah, thank you. It's a very good question, and just a quick point that I want to make is that okay, yeah, I have some background on the technical side, but I'm not a programmer. I'm not an IT person. I am a marketing person. I am a person, people person. Everything that I do is about how it will be perceived from the outside world. So
Mm.
I know enough about technology so that I can not taken kind of advantage of, or I know what's going on behind the scene. I know how to fix problem. And I think that's been a great asset for me over the
Mm.
years. Having said that, I see right now for the majority of people, there's basically three different difficulties of really using the internet to its full potential. Okay, the first is the physical side, is having the equipment to be able to access the internet. It's more and more available around the world, but there's still many countries that they still kids have access very little to the internet, and adults even less. There's some countries that if
Mm.
you're over 40 or 50-year old, you don't even know what the internet is. I mean, it's the reality.
Mm.
And the biggest thing I think from that, the physical side, is that there are different operating systems. Some people use different type of computers, and each computer is different. We use different platforms on the internet. All that is very confusing. So that's the physical side. The more important side that I see and I meet on a regular basis is the mental side, is the non-physical side, which some of it is age related. And we had a perfect example a few minutes ago. Connie is the young lady here, and she was almost born into technology. I mean, at that age group, like she doesn't know any better than having technology around and all that. Her main issue is about connectivity with people, how to relate to people. It's not about technical, or I'm sure she encounters some difficulty and all that, but it's not really that element. But that generation is really about, okay, how do I use it to the best possible way to benefit not only myself but the people I'm working with. Dr. Omar, is I can relate to you, password and audio and video and all that, because that's our generation, the generation of people who have they were not born into technology. They didn't have that. And then Owen, You are, your issue is more about, okay, the noise. There's so many things around. Where do I go? How do I focus? And you found a way to focus. And that has changed the whole thing. So for me, the issue when I encounter an issue with the internet that I have access or no difficulty to access some information or whatever, or people contact me with the platform, say I can't do this, I can't do that. So what I tell people is exactly what I have to do. I have to focus on one thing. I learn, let's say I need video streaming. Well, I learned one way of doing it and I'm doing it. It doesn't mean that I close my mind to other options and all that, but I focus on one way of doing things. I need, video stream, not video streaming, but for example, conference call meetings and all that. Well, I use one way of doing it, and then if I'm forced to use another platform, like this one here, we're not that used to. I'm not that used to, and Dr. Omar mentioned that was the first time on StreamYard, so it's just a matter of learning it. But it's just a matter of focusing on it and learning, focusing on one way, and then the other ones all a bit similar. They all have a little different way of operating, but that's what I found. Once you know something well enough, then you can get basically your way around how to work with the rest. And so, and what I do, I share that information. So, with on the platform on Global Sparks, when I help people like Owen, for example, I had a lot of discussions through the WhatsApp support line. And then, I just guide him different ways. It seems to be for him, it seemed that I know what I'm doing. So, well, yes, but because I stay focused on one way of doing things, I just focus on one.
That's fantastic. I think that is, the progress that we're making. Owen, you have a question. You said something like to the somebody have a question for you. They said that you mentioned something like you needed to find the right place to express what needs to be expressed. So, what is that about you were talking about? What is that? You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I think that the first thing we want to know is that what is the message that we want to bring out, and who's the target audience that we are addressing to. Yeah, if and I have a friend now who is very keen to explore coming online with us. If her target audience are really about individuals and housewives, and the story is about using flowers to bring joy to everyone, maybe something like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook may still be the right platform for them. Whereas in my case, where I am actually expressing my message, it's more relevant for professionals, for somebody who is in the training industry, coaching, mentoring field of work. I would then say, yeah, come join us at Go Global Sparks. And the other one that I'm using is LinkedIn. It's a matter of finding your niche and finding your message, and then trying to find the connecting point for this too. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up as well, because she's also talking about learning and training and teaching all these different aspects, and that's why the platforms are so different.
Yeah.
This is something that we can continue, and that's definitely, for you to identify where you are right now in order for you to be at the right place to work with, and that is like for professionals and youth and all of that. They all differ in the way that it's being done. Anyway, so coming back to the conversation on the challenges you've faced, now I want to ask you, as we kind of take it forward, what is how are you using technology to connect and collaborate with the world? This is a very important part of the conversation, because this platform that the Circle of Legend has created is about that, how messages are going out and how you have in your mission have used technology, and how are you connecting and collaborating with people around the world. And I think Dr. Omar, you want to start off by sharing with us, because you are part of many professional and offline online platforms, and you've traveled widely. So how is technology being used for you right now to connect and collaborate?
Thank you, Dr.
Oh yeah,
Azeeza.
one more thing. If you can also tell us if anything innovative you've done on this area.
Sure. Well, first part of the question, I would say, is that particularly during this past year, and it looks like it's likely in many places across the globe to stretch into 2021 and possibly 2022, which is the COVID and the health crisis, which has a knock on effect in many places to an economic uh, stress, let's say, that travel is restricted, and therefore technology uh, is important as a means to communicate with so many people. Now, as we were discussing a moment ago, it has its challenges because it's virtual, the bonding experience is a bit different. However, what I'm looking to do in my field of helping young people ages 18 to 32, let's say, to become better aware of their use of money and to deepen their skills of saving and investing and looking toward comfortable retirement is having built what you can characterize as an ecosystem. So there are different dimensions, we'll say, or we'll use a business term, different products, which are meant to fit together into this ecosystem and thereby make it more comprehensive, but also not everybody learns in the same way. So consequently, there are options. So what I mean by that is I have done some ebooks, which would then fit on your a digital device or on a tablet, could be used by a young person, maybe on the bus to school, could be used at home, on a personal computer, could be used even in a classroom. So those are ebooks. In addition, PowerPoint presentations, and some of these, they run themselves. And that's good because that's typically very graphic, and so many people learn visually. In addition, we have an experience like you're participating in right now, which is called a webinar. And so the webinar is online in real time, although of course there will be a replay at your convenience and maybe in a different time zone. And this is, again, it's visual. However, it can be also, let's say, on fitness, where somebody is actually demonstrating how you do push-ups or some exercises. And so therefore you can be at home and participating right along with the webinar. There's also what's called Zoom calls. Maybe it's a different name in your country, where maybe there's no visualization, but people are collaborating, hearing each other, exchanging ideas, making appointments, etc. So these are some examples. Now, an invention is maybe a year and a half ago, I decided that many people, young people, they like to do games. And I'm not here now talking about the smash them and blow them up kind of games. I'm talking about, let's call it really educational or adventuresome or challenging kind of mental games that have a purpose and a skill set. So I developed from scratch a simulation, which is a type of game where you learn how to buy and sell 9 different asset classes, like you'll find in the real world. So you build a portfolio. Well, first you're given some capital. And then you buy these asset classes. There's gold. You can buy a house. You can buy a solar panel business. You can buy a jewelry. You can buy bonds. You get the idea. And the notion here is that in the real world, we don't all experience our economy at the same time in the same way. So the economy may be up in China, but it may be down in Chicago and the US, for example. So in this game, there are 4 macroeconomic conditions. So part of the learning is what's the difference between growth, recession, stagflation, which is what we're in here in this part of the world right now, and uh, speculation, which is the creation of bubble value around asset classes. Anyway, that's an innovation, and the idea is to learn by doing, play the game. Maybe it takes 20 minutes. You can play against the computer, or you can play against your schoolmates, up to 4.
Wow, very
And
interesting.
so in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you can learn a lot about asset classes, macroeconomic conditions, how to buy and sell, and there's some other rules in the game that make it even more fun. I hope that's clear.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. This is what we're talking about. Technology being enabled to move our mission, and what can stop us is only our creativity. So now let's look at Owen. Owen, how have you been using technology to collaborate and connect? What are the various mediums you use? And also, how have you innovated what you're doing right now?
Thank you, Dr. Azeeza. I think basically the concerns that we all take when we're offline, when we're going face to face, those considerations are still relevant going online. The only thing is that we need to understand that there is a little bit of a distance between the person listening and what we want to share. What I've learned quickly is that it really depends on where my message is coming from. Like, for example, after considering a lot of things, the reason why I use an audio recording for the meditation instead of a video or an ebook or instructions that is listed down is because I just wanted a blank screen. I wanted to make sure that the person is focusing on the instructions instead of watching something. So if I had that idea in mind, I choose the relevant media that is most suited for the outcome. Currently, I'm recording some videos because I need to actually demonstrate or show presentation slides and how it all fits together. And I can't run away from a video presentation itself. If it is something that is just download some information, some knowledge, naturally an ebook would be good. Mass reach would probably be podcasts and stuff like that. The other thing that I realized very quickly now is that using technology, there are layers of it. Yeah, and I think Connie would probably agree with me that there is this human touch that is usually not present over the internet, but you can actually layer the process onto it. So probably my initial interaction with the person is to actually just get them into the this idea that I want to share with them. So it can be done very easily. And then as we build it up together, the group comes in for more we spend together, we have one-on-one sessions, small groups, etc. You know, sooner or later, this whole thing is gonna change, and we will get to actually have face-to-face meetings, and that's where I can bring all these people together for that kind of a session. So you can layer the technology as we go.
So, Owen, how about if we try to shake hands?
Give a high five.
Let's shake hands. I'm reaching out. There we go. Yeah. Okay.
We got it.
We got
Yeah,
it.
you're really, you know, this is something that many people have been yearning for. Like, people have gotten depressed because they cannot get a hug from people that they love. I know my American friends are very, very disturbed, you know, in that sense as well. So, but this is a fact that there are things that is constraining us, but how best can we overcome it and still play maximum in our life? And that's what it is. Anything else did you complete what you want to say, Owen?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And so now let's hear it from Dr. Serge. Is there anything else you want to add on the innovations. Is there anything you want to add on how you are using technology? Dr. Serge, you want to touch on the global sparks, the charity part of the conversation. I think that is very important for people to know as well.
Okay, yeah, I can share with you about that quickly here. So basically, the Go Global, the Global Sparks side of things was created basically for by a nonprofit for nonprofit entities around the world. We support. From a technical point of view, we support over 2 million nonprofits worldwide, and they never paid us a penny. We never asked for anything. And so we've been able to do it because we have the know-how. We can use those things to 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 do things for them. And on the other side, then we have the for-profit side that kind of takes care of the expenses of operation, all that. Like we cannot ask people to work forever and not without being paid. So we use very high level people, technical people, but they are not full time with us. So, but and when we use them, they give a lot of their time and all that. But we still want to pay them something anyway. So we have the profit side, but basically what it became started like a little thing just to help. Just some nonprofit became a kind of a phenomena where it became basically the Global Spark platform with the help of the Go Global Business School. We offer or people have access to the platform over 15,000. That's 15,000 free online courses from universities, colleges, individuals, platforms all over the world. So that's almost anything that people can use there. It's just a matter of getting there and they get free education. And some are really pretty simple, a few minutes long, but some are like 2-3 hour courses are 2-3 hours, 5 hour long and totally free. And then through the same process, people have access to over 200,000 other online courses, low cost courses. I know a few dollars to several $1,000s, but the great majority are under $50 for sure. You probably get 190,000 of them under $50. So it's very, very affordable. So what we've done is basically that is part of our mission to bring education. But then in order to continue proper education and new material, things change. The last year was nothing any one of us or the world have experienced before. So there were a lot of changes. So education has kind of reshaped itself a bit. And in order to respond to that, we have to be able to offer a vehicle. That's our way of using technology to improve, to help humanity, is to offer systems where people who have something to say, educators, trainers, mentors, public speakers, for them to come online on a platform that it doesn't require a lot of knowledge, technical knowledge, and where there's already traffic generated there and all that. So that's how we created and what we have now that has kind of evolved over time to kind of stay in line with the new economy that we have around the world.
That is exactly why we are very pleased and excited to work with you, because your context of like how much you are such a philanthropist. We know you for so many years. You have reached out to 100,000 SMEs in Asia, especially in China, where so many of them were growing offline. And now getting online with your work, you have really been walking the journey and you saw the potential. And that's why your vision to make money is to give out money. So this is a very strong mission, that people will not be able to see if they're just looking from outside until they get to know what's your real take on doing this. And that's what really inspired Go Global Business School to say this is a powerful partnership to be in. Thank you so much, Dr. Serge, for that big heart that you have and been contributing all these years. And so now let's listen to Connie. Connie, tell us how do you use technology? You're not just only part of Go Global Sparks, you are also Go Global Business School. You're also part of other organizations and associations And despite whatever happened, you are online like Doris Network every week and all of this. So tell us a little bit how you are leveraging on technology to connect and create your mission and anything innovative you've done.
Okay, thank you for that, and I've loved what you all have been talking about so far. I'm in awe of how you're using technology. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the points that you mentioned, Dr. Azeeza. You talked about how do we connect, collaborate, and then reach our mission, share that mission. And for me, if you remember just a little while ago, I talked about connecting was one of the biggest things I was worried about. How do we connect online in a really authentic way? And I remember one time I was talking to a leader that said, Connie, so many people are coming to me saying, I'm worried I won't be able to connect. I feel alone. And as entrepreneurs, this journey can feel very lonely at times. And with what's happening in the world, we can feel isolated and lonely. And one thing that I've learned is that it is so possible to truly connect. In fact, using a couple ways of tweaking technology, I've been able to connect with some of my greatest mentors that I've never actually met. So Dame Doria Cordova, you know how much I love her. I've never met her. She keeps asking me, Connie, how tall are you? Because when I hug you, I want to know how tall are you? And so one thing to be aware of is that when we can be ourselves, when we can truly be authentic with people, that helps us connect. Now, don't even get me started talking about the story. When someone knows the story, they feel your heart, they know who you are. And of course, we want to hang out with and be around people that we know, like, and trust. Another very simple thing is make sure we're looking at the camera. I know for me, when I'm interviewing somebody, it's challenging for me to look at the camera. I keep wanting to see their beautiful face and their expressions and all of those things. But for us to feel like we are looking at them, we do need to look into the camera. And at times it's okay to break from that and go, oh, I see their beautiful face. I know their responses, and then go back to looking at the camera. So that's one thing that's really helped me to connect. The other thing is to, part of the reason I do what I do is because I believe that when we uncover the hidden story, when people know your heart and they know why you do what you do, Dr. Azeeza, your story is incredible. And I know every single person in this conversation, your story is amazing. That's what people relate to. They feel you. They feel like they know you. They understand the blood, sweat, and tears that has gone into the mission that you fulfill. And so, of course, we share that story. Now, when I first started this work, I didn't know all the technology of how to share the story. And I thought, okay, I'm really good at getting the story. Now what do I do? And I actually had an influencer that came to me and said, Connie, I'm launching a product and I don't know, I want you to help me to share the story. And I said, I don't do that. And she said, but you need to. And I said, okay. So I've learned a few things that are really valuable in doing that, in being able to share the story and collaborate in sharing the story. One is collaborating with freelancers. So that's one thing that has been really amazing is our team. We work with people across the world and collaborating with people that are experts. And so I love that. How we do that is so simple, over Zoom, over Slack. If you don't know what Slack is, I'm telling you, that opened up our team collaboration to the next level. It's amazing. We use Trello. Trello is another technology that is amazing at helping to stay on track with a team and helping to collaborate to get things done. So those are some ways that we use technology in an innovative way. And I mean, the work that we're doing in telling the story, so many people say to me, Connie, but I don't have a filming crew. How am I going to get a filming crew in my house? I say, it's okay. We actually can tell the story virtually. And so to understand that, think outside the box and use the technology that's available to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's very, very inspiring with the conversation that you're having with us. You know, when I'm here seeing all of you, other than Dr. Serge, who I've known for many years, and we meet each time he comes to this part of the world, we have not met each other. So I feel like still we are connected so much, right? As if like we're a family, and we are a family, you know, part of the whole journey that we are in this together, standing for each other. It didn't have, and same thing for Darshan Ji. Right now in the TCOL, we all connected online. And, you know, it's as if like we are here in his platform and sharing. That's because we were able to connect beyond technology. that is the powerful affirmation that, I mean, everything that people need to get it, that there is such a thing. Connecting heart to heart doesn't require you to touch. It is like the new level, new way of connecting, that you just can hear them, feel them, the what we say, the essence of communication that really goes through everybody that we are watching and hearing and seeing. So I'm
Well,
sure
Dr.
my friends
Aziza,
will
if you allow
do it.
me
Yes,
just to
yes,
comment,
yes, please.
to validate what you just mentioned in response to Connie's beautiful comments is the quantum field. So science is validating that the human body reacts almost like a magnet to electromagnetic forces, which you can think about as waves, or another word is frequency.
That's right.
So actually, what's happening through the amplification of this technology is that we are connecting, as you rightly pointed out, we're not able to touch physically or to feel the body language in the same way if you're seated in front of somebody, but rather we're able to connect, and Connie said it, heart to heart, which is a vibration which the other party can feel even across the globe.
Yes.
So, in conclusion, it's important to listen to the thoughts you're having and to listen to what your heart is saying so that you can be on a positive wavelength as a contributor, okay? And I'll stop there. But the quantum
Yes.
field is something to learn more about.
Thank you so much. We so relate to you. All of us relate to you so much on that. I'm sure the audience do too, because that's where the whole world is going towards. Technology is all about that. And that was actually your answer to my question, which is what we are rounding off the session with, is just the encouragement on using technology for benefiting humanity. So I'm sure all of you have at least some positivity for us to know, for the audience to hear what your positive thoughts on technology is. And Dr. Omar, that was amazing what you just shared, just kind of nailed it about understanding quantum physics for connecting. So can we have Dr. Serge, maybe you want to round off your thoughts on this?
Well, a very famous person, the name of Walt Disney, said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." My saying related to the internet is, whatever you love doing, you are not alone sharing that love. And what I mean with that is that just find your gift, find your passion, find what you love to do and that you like to talk about, and share it with the world. Share your knowledge and share your expertise with others, and someone out there will benefit from it. It doesn't have to change. Whatever your message is, whatever you want to bring to society, to humanity, it doesn't have to change a billion people. But if you change a few people, the life, or you expand the way of thinking of just a few people, then you have been valuable to society.
Thank you so much, Dr. Serge. Owen, you want to share with us your thoughts?
Thank you. Yeah.
Words of encouragement.
I just like to bring us back into a bit of a history recollection, because it's actually the same thing that's been happening again and again in the arena of corporate training, or even in teaching. We used to have this thing called a blackboard and chalk. And then we started to have things like, for example, the overhead projector, and then the LCD projector, and then now you've got touch screens and stuff like that. And if we are really honest about it, each time a change happens, there was resistance. But once we get used to the tool, the resistance fades off, and we find the most effective way to use the tool. I think, and this is my mantra to myself, to always remember that technology, online, whatever platforms we have, they are just a tool. And if you learn how to use the tool, the resistance fade off on its own. So just learn to use it as a tool.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Connie, let's hear from you.
I love what you have all shared. It is so amazing. The thing that I want you to know is that often when I'm talking with people, they think that their story's not important. I promise you it is. And I encourage you to share your story in whatever technology feels right to you. Dr. Serge said it in so beautifully. Just pick a way, pick one way and share your story. Because here's what I know. I know that the world is at a place of transformation, and I love how Owen talked about that sometimes there can be resistance. But as you step forward and you share your story, you give hope and you give insight to someone that is waiting for your story. And honestly, the world needs your story and your message now more than ever before.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, everyone. This is really, really wonderful. That's kind of summing up the whole session because we all have so much of empowering thoughts in this space that I think everybody now to like need to like breathe it in and really, really encompass their life with much more empowered technology in their space. Because the biggest fear that we are living right now is how are we going to connect? How are we going to collaborate? How are we going to grow? And I have to say that this is it. You have to accept it, embrace it, love it, and take on your journey with it. That's it. That's all we can do. And thank you so much to the Circle of Legend for their amazing platform that has constantly supported people to get online and get their message out there. And in our vision with them, I mean, they have put together a 25,000 families to be reached through this Circle of Legends Summit. Tomorrow is the finale. I want every one of you to join in tomorrow with all of us and everybody tuning in. Share this video, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, team. Thank you, Connie, Mr. Dr. Serge, Dr. Owen, as well. Sorry, Dr. Owen, Dr. Omar, and Connie. Thank you so much, everyone, for the space. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, audience, for being with us.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. We can just exit.